Well, welcome to Deathmatch and Chill. My name is Dom,
I'm Colt.
and today we had a pretty cool show for you guys. We're going to be talking about the EA play that happened yesterday, the EA State of Play that happened yesterday, or the no, it was the EA Play and the PlayStation State of Play that happened yesterday, and then also we're going to do kind of a deep dive into cheating and looking at cheating and just kind of talking about that because because cheating is becoming more and more prevalent nowadays, and it's affecting us more than ever, I think. So that's going to be interesting. But anyway, let's start off with the EA Play. The EA Play yesterday, I know, Cole, I know you said you didn't watch it, but it was absolute garbage. Um, and I think I can justify that statement a little bit because the title of this EA Play was The Future of FPS or the future of FPS gaming or something like that. But anyway, it was implying that they were going to be talking about the future of FPS games in the title. And they had the EA Dice devs there that were talking about Battlefield 2042. And pretty much everyone's aware that the Battlefield stuff is coming on July 22nd on that EA Play, which we were, that was they were upfront about that. However, when you come in with an EA Play and it's called the future of gaming, the future of FPS, you're kind of expecting some new information or some hints or a little bit of something, and there was nothing there. At one point, they even asked the devs straight out. It was towards the end. They asked them, "So, what does the future of FPS look like to you?" And I shit you not, the first thing out of this dude's mouth was, "I don't know." And I was like,
Nice.
"What? Are you kidding me?"
Sick.
Um, but yeah, so they weren't talking about anything at all. Wasn't that fun? The chat was blowing up with hashtag Save Titanfall and a bunch of sleep emojis and Z's and so it was kind of funny to watch. Not that I really like put too much time into what the chat says, because a lot of times, like for the PS State of Play, the chat was kind of tone deaf a little bit, because we knew nothing was really coming for the PS State of Play. They were kind of upfront about that, but the EA Play was just a nightmare. Well, not a nightmare, but it was pretty trash. It was a waste of fucking time. I'm gonna put it that way. I mean, the really the only new information that we learned was that you can shoot in and out of tornadoes in Battlefield, which I think was something that we kind of already expected. Like if you're flying in a wingsuit around a tornado, we kind of anticipated that you'd be able to shoot. Like this is Battlefield, right? Um, Now, also with that, they were talking about Save Titanfall, and that hashtag was something I kind of wanted to bring up for a minute because that hits home for me a little bit because I love Titanfall 2. That was one of my all-time games. All-time for probably for this console. Like if we're gonna rack up like hours played, that one's definitely up there. I played a shit ton of Titanfall 2. Um, the first Titanfall, no, because that was Xbox exclusive. But anyway, they were talking about Save Titanfall, and I wonder if this is going to have any effect in the community. What do you think about this? Like after the recent hack of Apex Legends, where they were coming in with Save Titanfall, trying to address the hacking problem in Titanfall. Do you think anything's going to come of that, or is it just voices yelling into the void?
I don't know. I kind of feel like that if people get loud enough, they may try and do something, but at the same time, it's EA. I question
Yeah.
how much they even really actually give a shit about their community and their player base.
Yeah. I
'Cause,
think if there's anything that could whet their palate, it's just talking about how many microtransactions you could fit into Titanfall 3.
right,
you know, or like, hey, Titanfall's 2 is done. You guys can make more money off of this. How about that?
right. But at the same
Yeah.
time, like, I don't know if they really care, because about Titanfall in particular, just because they have Apex Legends, I feel like they're spending more time and effort with Legends than they are with Titanfall.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Apex Legends is, from what I hear, like one of the biggest battle royales right now, right? If not the biggest. I don't play it. Do you play it?
I did for a while, but I haven't played it in a long time.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't like it because I came from Titanfall 2 and I was expecting Apex Legends to be kind of like Titanfall 2, and it just didn't have that vibe for me. I know it had some of the same guns, some of the same abilities and stuff, but I never really found myself enjoying it all that much. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of sick of battle royales. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of done with that, with that game mode.
Right? I don't know. I think battle royales are still fun sometimes, but
Mhm.
none of the ones that are currently out there really like speak to me. I think I'm more likely to play Fall Guys as my battle royale fix than anything else, to be honest. But
Yeah, for sure. Because at least it's silly and it's like it's fun, rather than just this sweaty nonsense. And that ties into the cheating too, because battle royales are some of the biggest, victims of cheating. But also to backpedal on the battle royale for just a second. What did I? Shit, there was something I needed to talk about. There were some indie games that were battle royales from the PS State of Play that I wanted to talk about. But god damn it, there was something else right there. I do this all the time, man. I need to stop smoking so much. Anyway, if I remember it, we'll come back. But I think Titanfall 3 is at least pretty much doomed, right? Because Respawn got acquired by EA, didn't they? And I think they kind of dismantled that company, from what I remember. So I mean, I know for sure. Like people were saying, Titanfall 3, and that's never gonna happen. But fuck, I'm open. If EA ever brought back that franchise, I would flip. I would flip.
when was Titanfall 2? When did that release?
Oh, shit, I don't. I want to say 2016, 2017. I actually have my computer. Let me pull this up real quick. Yeah, because I think it was the first one came out. That was like one of the launch games
It was
for the Xbox.
October 28, 2016.
Okay, so 2016. God damn, 5 years ago. Can't believe that. It's even crazier to think Titanfall 2 came out 3 years after Battlefield 4. And Battlefield 4 seems so fucking long ago.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yep.
All right. Well, moving on to the PlayStation State of Play. Did you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I was just
With
curious.
Titanfall?
Did they talk about the Assassin's Creed Infinite or whatever
No.
in EA Play? 'Cause I'm curious.
No.
Curious as to what they're gonna do with that.
Yeah. So. Okay. You know what? That's actually. Did you look into that Assassin's Creed Infinite? I heard it got leaked. And I heard it's a live service Assassin's Creed, but that's all I heard. Was there any other information?
I don't. Well, it might have got leaked, but I think they actually finally came out and confirmed it. But yeah, it's gonna
Mm.
be an Assassin's Creed game that's supposed to be a game of service, which I have mixed
Huh.
mixed emotions about it, 'cause like I feel like we haven't really seen a game of service done properly yet. Like in theory, I feel like it could be pretty
Mm-hmm.
sweet, but I don't know. I was just curious if they talked about that at the EA
Yeah.
Play at all, because I think that information came out and was confirmed a couple days before EA Play, I think. A day or two maybe.
Dang. So yeah, there was nothing in there about that from what I saw. Um. Yeah, there was nothing in there about that, but I. Yeah, as a service game that's single player, like, what are they get? Are they gonna have a battle pass or something? For that. And didn't like Assassin's Creed Valhalla like just come out? I thought they were off of the 1 year development cycles and they were gonna start taking their time with this franchise.
Well, they were also saying that the Assassin's Creed Infinite or Infinity, Assassin's Creed Infinity, but they announced it or whatever, but they also still said that it's
Mm.
years from being released.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay, that makes more
so yeah, I
sense.
don't think it's something that's going to come out next year. I think you're looking at like 2-3 years down the road, probably, at least.
That's totally fine by me. If we're oh man, there what it was Grand Theft Auto and Elder Scrolls 6 I think this week as well. They came out saying that those games aren't coming out for fucking years. like 2025
Right.
or some nonsense for GTA 6. And that's a bigger problem we could talk about too, where like all these service games or like these old games that they keep adding on to, it's just decentivizing them from making a new sequel, or making a new game. And I'm not particularly fond of that, because I tried to hop on GTA 5 because recently I just got the Xbox Game Pass, and GTA 5 is on there. Me and Ash were trying to play it, and dude, that game just feels so fucking outdated to me.
Right.
Like, that game came out on the fucking PS3 originally. It feels like a PS3 game, and it reminds me of why those games were held back in some respects. You know what I mean? And it's a shame that we're not going to get to see one sooner, because people keep feeding money into these old games, which is fine if they're good, but I don't know. It's kind of disappointing to see as well. It's like a mixed bag. It's like, is the game good enough where you can just keep adding on to it, or do you need to come out with something new?
Right. I think a game like GTA 5, like, to me it's getting stale and kind of old, and ready for a new one, just because I don't think it was built to be like updated and sustained for so long.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I think
Yeah.
if you actually intended the game and built the game to evolve that way, I think it would be better off if it was planned that way from the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. I could totally see that. Because yeah, if you look at a game like Rainbow Six Siege, that game has been being updated for years and years, and that game kind of started off with that good foundation. Granted, it's a multiplayer game, but well, so is Grand Theft Auto. But yeah, yeah, I can see what you mean. Like, build that into its roots. But do you think that's going to be something we're going to be seeing more? Before we get to the PlayStation State of Play, do you think that's going to be something we're going to be seeing more of, where like where these developers just try to come out with like this one game and just keep fucking updating this shit rather than actually coming out with sequels?
Um, I have mixed feelings. I think that
Hmm.
if they continue to make games like that and they flop, like Avengers, I haven't heard really any
Oh yeah.
good things about that game. If they continue to do that, I think they'll continue to make sequels. But once they get one that's a really big hit, similar to GTA 5, but that was designed more as a games as service, then
Hmm.
I think you could see a shift. Because I mean, companies copy companies. So if one
Yeah.
person does it right, they'll basically copy paste that model and maybe add their own flair to it. And then I think that it could be kind of a constant where you might see maybe they go with the console cycle. You get Assassin's Creed Infinity on the Xbox Series SX and the PS5,
Hmm.
and then PS6 when it comes out. Maybe that's when the
You get a new one.
new Assassin's Creed comes out, kind of thing. And they stick with like those 5, 10 year cycles.
Personally, man, I would not have a problem with that if it meant the game was fucking good. You know what I
Right?
mean? Like, I don't think anybody would have a problem with that
No, I agree.
if the game was
I
solid.
agree.
Yeah. That would be interesting. I can't. Oh man, that would be so cool to see how that pans out. But anyway, do you have anything else to say there, or should we move on to the
Let's
PlayStation State of Play, which I have a little bit more to talk about?
let's go to PlayStation.
Fuck yeah. Okay, PlayStation State of Play. Was it trash? I think it was. I think it was fucking trash. Now, I think it comes at a very timely, it's very timely because PlayStation was just getting beat over the head with their indies, right? They're not very indie friendly. They make it difficult to sell on the platform. One thing that they do, well, I heard some number. I can't remember. It might have been you who told me this, or it might have been, I can't remember. But apparently, like, some developers that make 3% of their total profits off of the PlayStation Store compared to like Xbox and PC. And maybe Nintendo was thrown in there. But like, these indie developers are making their smallest profit from PlayStation because PlayStation's not friendly to them or whatever. So they come out with this state of play where they were going to have 9 minutes of Deathloop gameplay. Deathloop has its own thing we'll talk about. That is a AAA game, but the rest of this was going to be devoted to indies. They weren't going to talk about God of War or Horizon, whatever. That's fine. Now, I don't have a problem, if they're trying to prop up these indie games, but a lot of these indie games, man, look like straight up trash. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, if you want to sell your indies, these indies kind of have to be decent, or at least, like, intriguing. And I didn't find any of these games intriguing at all, except for one. There was one that maybe two. I'll say two that were kind of cool. So they came out with this game. I think it was going to be called Hunter Legends Arena or something like that, where they pitched it as a 3D Mortal Kombat style fighter game where timing is important and it's like melee combat and with weapons and things like that, and it's also going to be a battle royale. So a massive map, other players, and it's like a fighter game. Now this looked kind of cool because it's like a different spin on the genre. And I think the graphics and the gameplay looked really good on it. It looked really solid. So that's a game that I will keep an eye out for. I think it was called Hunter Legends Arena. And then there was another one. Oh, sorry.
Hunter's Arena Legends.
Oh, fucking get mixed. Hunter's Arena Legends. God damn it. Okay. So that one looked kind of cool. And that one, I think, really just made all the other indie games look bad. There was another one called Sifu that looked kind of cool, which was like an in-depth sort of 3D fighter, but it looked highly realistic. Well, it looked pretty realistic. It looked like the fighting wasn't over the top, like it was actual martial arts. It looked pretty cool. But they didn't really show too much of that. They just showed some combat, so I'll leave that one on the back burner. But this Hunter's Arena Legends, that game, to me, it had great graphics, and compared to all of these other indie projects they were pushing forward, man, the games look so outdated. Like, I don't know if that's a problem you've been seeing with some indie games, but like, man, some of these games they had there, I had a hard time believing that these were not on mobile or not from, pre PS4 era. Like, holy shit. They don't look good.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of...
And I mean, I'm trying to be...
No, I was going to say, I'm kind of trying to look at, like, screenshots from everything that was at the PlayStation State of Play.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, while you're doing that, I'll kind of go off on my rant here because I'm a little frustrated with this. Like, there's some indie games, man, that knock it out of the park. But why does it seem like with indie games, I'm not sure if it's due to like budget restraints or they just don't have the people to make higher level games. It's fine, but they like to stick with like overhead and side scrollers, man, is a lot of these indie games. Now, I know some of the best games, like some really solid games were side scrollers and were over the head. I mean, over the head view. Like last year, Hades was a super popular game, won all these awards. I never personally played it, but I heard it was good. Great. Hollow Knight is another one that has a dedicated following, that has a ton of DLC. Really cool game. Side scroller. That's fine. Those are like decent games. But these games, they just stick to this format, and it just doesn't seem like they do anything new, or at least they didn't pitch it. And these games, a lot of them looked boring as fuck. I'm not going to lie. There was a PSVR game that they opened with, which just the graphics looked terrible. I'm not a big VR guy. Is anybody really a VR person? I know one person that owns a PSVR. No. They have an Oculus. I know
a couple that have Oculus, but not PlayStation VR.
Yeah, so I don't know how big the market is there, but like, I don't know, man. These games just did not look good to me. There was another one called, how was it called, Jet or something, which was, they pitched it as kind of like this open universe exploration type game. But it looked so boring. They stressed the fact that there was going to be like no combat in it. It's purely about exploration, and it just looked dull, gray, and boring as shit. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Are you seeing some of these screenshots that I've been talking about? Like where they just look terrible?
I was looking at mainly looking at Hunters. just because I was curious. I
Yeah,
think it's kind of weird. It's on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and then Windows.
that is a strange combination, actually. Huh. I know they said PS4, PS5. I didn't know Windows though. That's kind of
Yeah,
funny.
I'm looking at GameSpot right now, and it says platforms: PlayStation 4, Microsoft Windows, and PlayStation 5.
Hmm. Interesting. All right. Well, then the big thing though from the PlayStation State of Play that they were talking about and that they gave 9 minutes of new footage was for Deathloop. Now you're pretty like Cole. You were familiar with Deathloop prior to
Oh yeah.
this. Yeah, yeah. I mean, they've been talking about this game for a while. Like I remember seeing gameplay from this from a fucking long time ago. Actually, can't even remember when. But what's interesting about this is it's a Bethesda game, right? I don't know if Bethesda like developed it. I don't know if Bethesda just put up some of the money for it or what. But Bethesda just got bought out by Xbox. So this is kind of a strange uh, it's kind of a strange moment where this game was in development. I'm not sure if they had some prior agreement where this game was going to come out on all consoles, or if their agreement with Xbox didn't apply to this one game or what. But it was at the PlayStation State of Play. They showed 9 minutes of it, and essentially, my personal opinion is it just looks like Dishonored 3. That's my view because it has that signature Bethesda style, from Dishonored and from games like Prey. Uh, I I'm not a big fan of that. Did you like Dishonored?
Dishonored wasn't too bad. I played the first one quite a bit, but any of the ones that came out after that, I didn't really get into.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I like them, but it was like for me, it kind of felt stale. And with this game, I guess you're going to be going around on the same map on the same day, trying to take out 8 different targets. You're like an assassin, and then if you die, you have to restart. It honestly kind of seems a lot like Returnal because isn't that the basis of Returnal was like you die and then you have to start over, and it's the same level. I don't know. I didn't play Returnal. I just heard about it, but it's like that, and then you have all these abilities. It looks just like Dishonored. You're chopping people in the face. You're chopping heads off. It looks cool. It looks gory, but I don't know if that's gonna be. I don't think it warranted 9 minutes of gameplay. Personally, I think it was pretty straightforward what we were getting out of that game, and I don't think that's a game that I'll be buying personally. Or do you think you'll get Deathloop?
Uh,
Maybe if it's on Game Pass.
if it's on Game Pass, yeah, but probably not. But it also I know it won't be on Game Pass because it was developed by Arcane, published by Bethesda, and it was done before Xbox bought them. And when Xbox did buy Bethesda, they were gonna honor any like previously made like agreements. So it being like a PlayStation, well, I was gonna say a PlayStation exclusive, but it looks like it's also gonna be on Windows. But they weren't gonna break any of those. So anything that Bethesda was doing that was supposed to be exclusives to whatever, they were gonna keep those. So
Okay,
Xbox won't
cool.
see Deathloop.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, that's pretty cool. I wonder what other games are gonna fall under that title. You know what I mean? Is because Bethesda's also doing. Fuck, aren't they doing Starfield? I don't wanna say something that's wrong, but I thought they were
Yeah,
doing Starfield. Okay, so I wonder if that is also gonna fall under that
that
category. I don't know.
that one
We'll
will
have to see.
not. That one's confirmed to be a Series X, Series S, and Microsoft Windows exclusive. PlayStation
Okay
won't see
then.
Starfield.
Then all right, then there it is. Fuck yeah. All right. Well, not gonna lie, man. That Bethesda acquisition really that hit me pretty hard, man. I was pretty pissed off about that. Not gonna lie.
That
Yeah.
is, that was a pretty big bombshell, but I mean, if they're really looking to bulk out that Xbox Game Pass, I mean, that's a place to start.
Dude, that's a fucking
Well,
huge place. You know, I know it's a long ways off, but Elder Scrolls 6.
right?
Oh, jeez.
Well, and then on top of that, to do a partnership with EA Play. Yeah,
Partnership with EA Play?
Game Pass picked up
The
EA Play, so anything in like EA Play's library is in Game Pass. That's why all the
Oh,
Battlefields are there, the newest Madden, the newest FIFA, the newest NHL.
got you. Okay, that. Yep, yeah. When you said EA Play, I was thinking
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
no, 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 no.
presentation. Yeah, but all right, fuck. Cool, man. Did you want to go ahead and jump
Sure.
into cheating? Let's just start cheating. All right. So the thing that prompted this, well, there's been a lot of things I think that prompted this kind of curiosity, out of me because fucking cheating has been getting worse. I think in the past year, but it might just be the case that I just started to notice it more because I did play Warzone for a while, and Warzone was fucking terrible. I've heard it is terrible. Just the other day, I know Drifter came out with a video saying that he's kind of done with Warzone for right now until it gets fixed. Now, not only that, but you add on Apex Legends, you add on this recent hack that came in where people hacked Apex Legends to complain about hacking in Titanfall. So, there's issues. And I found a couple articles here. One is a little outdated. It's from 2018, and the one's from this year, actually, just a few days ago. Or no, maybe a few weeks ago, this article came out. I'll start with the newer article. They did a study, and I think this was done with just surveys. So they sent out like a bunch of surveys, and got a statistically significant group, and then asked them a bunch of questions. And they came to the conclusion that 60% of gamers have had a negative experience with cheating. Personally, I think that number has to be way higher. Like, that's why I also have this Forbes article where it said that I believe it was 88% have had a negative experience with cheating, is what this Forbes study came out. Now, I am more prone to believe that 88% of players have had some sort of negative experience with cheating rather than fucking 60%.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree
Personally.
with that for sure. Because the other thing too is, who are you interviewing? Like, if you interview some dude playing solo Minecraft, like, of course he hasn't had a negative experience with cheating.
Hmm.
But then
Yeah, no,
talk
no,
to a
for sure,
first-person
yeah.
shooter, I'm sure they've come across at least one, especially if you're playing Warzone or some of these other cross platforms.
Yeah. And another thing that I didn't even think about till just now is like this Forbes article came out in 2018 and this VentureBeat article came out this year. Now, I think the generation of gamers too is like there's a lot of newer gamers, a lot of young gamers. Now, if like the older gamers are like, I'm fucking done with this shit. There's too much cheating. That could skew the number, and then you have younger gamers taking up this proportion of the gaming population. And not to say anything, but typically the younger generation aren't quite as aware of the things that go on, so they might not even know that other people are cheating. It might just be the fact of, oh, that guy must be really good. He
Right.
saw me through a wall. Um, you know what I mean? Like it might just be that sort of
Well,
naivete that's
ignorance is
coming
bliss,
out.
I suppose.
Yes. Yeah, and get this statistic, man. This statistic blew me away. This case in the Forbes article, it said that 37% of gamers have confessed to cheating at some point. Some of the, there's a smaller proportion of gamers that say that they cheat all of the time. I think that number was like 3%. But then there's some who are just like sometimes, and then there's some that are rarely. I think probably with cheaters, like a lot of people that do it kind of maybe get into it where we've said it plenty of times, when we're in the middle of a match and then we're like, oh, these guys turned on their fucking wall hacks, they turned on their aimbots. People get pissed off, people are getting their ass kicked, and then maybe they flip a switch and they're like, you know what, fuck this. I want to win this match type thing. I don't know if that constitutes the other percentage, but just that statistic, 1 in 3 have cheat at either always or sometimes or rarely. Like, that's crazy to me.
But
and that tells you how
right at the
how
same
easy
time,
it is,
like
too.
I kind of believe that because like off the top of my head, we'll use myself, you, and Ash. I have cheated before because I remember Halo 3 using lag switches. So I mean that almost proves that a statistic right there, as where I know that I would assume that probably neither you nor Ash have ever cheated. Okay.
Not
So
true.
then that blows it
Actually,
out.
so
There's 2 out of 3.
yeah, yeah, seriously, I didn't cheat. That like I didn't cheat for a while, but I did get when I was doing the Wildlands days, I got a strike pack specifically to see in Wildlands what the difference was, like how effective it actually was and the things that you could actually do with it. I never really got it to work with Wildlands, and that's one of the reasons that on most of my streams my controller is disconnected from the console, so nobody ever like accused me of that shit. But one thing with the strike pack, I didn't get it to work with Wildlands, but I did try it on Black Ops 3 before then, I think, or maybe about the same time. I did try it on Black Ops 3, and there was a big difference there. It was so fucking easy. But like, you can go and just buy that at GameStop.
Well,
so whatever, you don't need to do anything, download software.
because you're thinking about it actually now that you brought Call of Duty into it. I remember Black Ops 2, I believe it was. I did make a turbo controller. There was a way where you could basically solder a connection between, I think it was the player 2 LED on the controller to, I can't remember which one you soldered it to, but that for whatever reason caused it to a semi-automatic weapon to fire full auto. So I could take like the FAL or something semi-auto and it would turn it full auto.
Yeah. That's cool. But that can almost be explained by a fast trigger finger, right?
It was a little faster than I think you could potentially shoot it, but I mean, I guess maybe if you had a fast trigger finger on top of like a scuff, then maybe. But it would basically the gun would shoot and it would max out its like rate of fire.
God damn, that's crazy. But let me ask you, was that decision to do that, was that prompted by I want to be at the top of the leaderboard, or was that prompted by I'm getting my fucking ass kicked?
It was definitely prompted by I'm tired of running into dudes with turbo controllers.
Yes, exactly. And that's where my experience came from too. It's like these things seem really appealing when you're just getting fucking murdered every game. It's not fun, and yeah, I think if there's one cheater in a lobby of like 10 people, maybe after a few games that one cheater turns into 2 cheaters, and then they go into different lobbies and then they just keep proliferating like that. It could work like that. Yeah, who knows? God, maybe in 10 years it'll be nothing but cheaters. And if you're not cheating, then you're not playing. I don't know.
Yeah, me too. Because I'm already over it. I mean, I quit playing Warzone because of fucking wall hacks and aimbot. And actually, it was probably aimbot over walls, but
yeah,
because I know that
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. They're both fucking annoying. It's just the wall
Right.
hack is so hard
Yeah,
to
no, this
prove.
dude, I'm sure he had aimbot. Because he was at range. I was playing with Tack. Tack gets into one of the vehicles and starts to take off. And I run out.
Hmm.
And then as soon as I'm about to get in the car, I get melted. And I had full armor, full health, everything. And I just get straight headshots, melted. So then I watched the kill cam. And the
Mm.
dude's a good 400 meters away with a light machine gun. And he sees Tack run and then aims, but he must have aimed in a little bit closer to me than Tack because I see his gun go to the left, and then there's a big brick wall, and all of a sudden he's like tracking me through this wall, and as soon as he can see me, pulls the trigger, and I'm just insta melted.
Yeah, and there's like
Oh
no
yeah,
fucking recoil
dude,
on
and
the
it was
thing
at
too, I'm sure.
400 meters with a light
Yeah.
machine gun, and he hits like all headshots. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, and that's one reason I really appreciate the kill cams. That's one thing that bothers the hell out of me about Battlefield, going back to Battlefield 4. You don't have
Right.
a fucking kill cam. You know what I mean? So you can't see what happened. It's not, is it an instance of were you marked or did the guy have an aimbot and shoot you through smoke? Like, you know what I mean? So I hope that's something that's rectified because Battlefield 5 doesn't have a kill cam, does it?
I don't
I didn't
believe
really
so.
play it that much.
Well, it's on Game Pass, so we should get down on some Battlefield 5 at some point.
Fuck yeah. We totally should. That sounds like a lot of fun. I've been using the Game Pass, honestly, man, to download all these racing games. Me and Ash have been playing, like, Dirt and
Nice.
Forza Horizon 4. They're fun, but... Um, yeah, and then... So with the cheating, like... These companies definitely have a financial incentive to stop cheating. Because I can't, from this VentureBeat article, there's definitely a financial impact. Players are more likely to stop playing if they encounter cheating, and they are less likely to purchase in-game items if they also report that they've experienced cheating. So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Why are you going to pump more time into, and why are you going to pump more money into a game where you hop on and you're just getting fucking melted because of what you suspect to be cheating? You're not going to do it. Like, that's like going to work knowing you're not going to get paid.
Right.
Why would you do it? So I think there's a huge financial incentive for companies to make their games as clean and straight as they possibly can. So I don't know. I don't know if there's some sort of limitation on their part. Maybe they need to come out and be like, "Hey, some of this shit is too advanced for us," or there's just no way around it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Which is that transparent?
Because some of this software I was hearing about, but it's
Right.
crazy.
I was
But I'll
just
go
gonna
into
say
that
the
here in a minute. So go
transparency
ahead.
could go both ways though. Like it'd be nice to know, but then for someone who is either thinking about starting to try and maybe get an aimbot or what walls, whatever, if they hear that some of the shit's too advanced, they can't do anything about it, that might be incentive for those people that are on the fence about it to be like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna install this aimbot.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And maybe that's not the best way to go about it. I I just would like to know what the fuck is going on. Like, is this an issue where you guys just don't give a shit? And Activision's making billions, and that's it. Your bottom line is being exceeded, so we don't really give a shit about the player experience, or what is it? And I do think that seems like such a bad business decision, right? To completely ignore your customer base like that, it seems like such a terrible decision. But it again just seems to be the one that companies like to make. You know what I mean? Because what is fucking Call of Duty's response been? I've seen this happen like 5 or 6 times now, where they've had 100,000 accounts banned. There's a new ban wave for Warzone, right? Where they ban all these players. Oh, okay, great. So now they have to create a new email. Fucking idiots. Like
Right.
it doesn't do anything. We need some sort of permanent solution. This isn't doing anything. What is the software that's detecting this stuff? Now some of the and you know what's crazy is some of these cheats have even infected like LAN tournaments, man. Like they've caught I can't remember the names because there's always so weird names in the gaming world, but people were getting caught at LAN tournaments using these cheats. And who knows how long they were doing it before they got caught. You know, pro streamers are doing these things. Cheats are fucking everywhere. The incentive is huge to do it. It's easy to do it. There's almost no consequences for doing it. What are you going to do? I don't know. But anyway, I looked into some of these cheats because I was just curious on how they work. You know, now obviously probably the most technologically like basic cheat that you could do is going to be your lag switch. Right? Like if we're just going to stick with that, I mean, where you cut the Ethernet cable, you hook some sort of device in. I think they even have kits for this.
They used to. You can't find. I haven't been able to find them anymore, but they used to make a kit and it wasn't even a kit. You could just buy the Ethernet cable that way. But it would basically it was an extra long Ethernet cable, and then the more advanced, like newer ones would have foot pedals, so that you can still play, but then you can you can basically turn the connection on and off.
I think I see that, dude, all the time. It's just so wishy-washy. And you know, that's your basic. That's gonna be like your Pilgrims,
right? Or
gaming cheat, I think, because
or one that doesn't require anything that I still would consider cheating would be like boosting from like back in like Modern Warfare 2 days. I mean.
Oh yeah, where you go to like
right, someone just
of the map
just shoot headshots to try and get camos, which I mean that one. It's annoying, but that one doesn't like break the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, because do you remember? Did you watch those old like Boost
a few of
videos?
Them.
Those were pretty. Yeah, those were pretty funny. You know, and there's ways around it. You can kind of communally enforce that because those players aren't good.
Right.
They're just sneaky. But would you call an exploit like that a cheat though?
Yeah.
Or would it be just an exploit, and as long as it's
I guess
in the
it
game,
is kind of more just an
game?
exploit than necessarily a cheat, but at the same time, like, so if you're just in the corner boosting headshots for camos, like, at that point, that you're just exploiting the game. But once like the person boosting starts calling in his AC 130s and shit, that's when I'd almost consider it cheating.
It's for sure, and you know, we could even look at it this way: if a friend of yours was to come up and be like, "Hey, you know, Cole, I don't know what you're gonna think of me, but I boost, I do that," or if they came up and said, "Hey, I cheat," I think the response would almost be the same, right? Like your response to that person,
right,
would be like, "You fucking asshole."
It's one of those
either
where
way.
You're almost just like, "Well, I'm glad you're on my team."
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, there's a hack, team hacking, which lets you control who goes on what team. So have experienced this in Battlefield 4, although I did not know what this was until I looked into it. But so what people will do is, for example, so when you're playing a game like Battlefield 4 and you drop C4, right? Only you can detonate that C4 originally, and it won't harm your teammates. However, in Battlefield 4, there's a device, like a black hat, that will let you detonate enemy explosives. And when they detonate it, obviously it'll do friendly damage. So what people will do is that they'll have a buddy go on the other team, and then they'll have a buddy on the other team throw C4 on all the other team's fucking vehicles, on their own team's vehicles. So then their buddy can go around with this UCAV, this black hat, and blow up all these vehicles when they're occupied. That is some bullshit, and that's a fucking, I mean, that's something, you know, originally if you're like, hey, what good is a team hack? Well, it kind of depends on the game. But now for an example like that, do you think the developers should, like, not introduce technology if they know it could be exploited by a hack?
I feel like
you know what I mean? Like if they knew that was a thing, then maybe just take out
I mean that would be
ability.
one thing if you see it being abused like that, to maybe take it out until you can fix it, or just permanently take it out. But at the same time, like, I feel like when you're designing the game, like, you have something like that designed for a purpose. So I mean, that kind of like
Hmm.
I get developing it and putting it in because if you try and develop it so you take out as many exploits as possible, then I feel like you have a pretty basic game.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you? God, you would. But fuck, yeah, yeah. So that's another interesting question. Like, should developers take into account that people are going to be using cheats or not? You know, when they're actually designing it. But then, other than that, you have your basic wall hacks and your aimbots. Now, apparently, how aimbots work, I guess, is you have to run it through your computer, and then your computer turns the game code into like a readable code in your computer, and then your computer reads it and is able to adjust your aim based on the code it's receiving from the game, is how I understand it. So then, like, the game will say, hey, this player's moving at this speed and in this relation to you. And the game will just be like, okay, lock. Either way, they can detect it. Now, apparently, aimbots are pretty easy to detect, or like the easiest one to detect in terms of anti cheat software, which is good because it's also like the most powerful,
Right.
and they're easy as fuck to get. But then there's wall hacks. Wall hacks are a little bit trickier because I guess with wall hacks, so get this, man. I didn't know this, but apparently back in the day, I think it was Asus was gonna come out with a graphics card or something like that where you could choose to load in-game textures or not. And what that would do is effectively just give you wall hacks because you could choose whether or not walls would appear on your screen.
It is.
Isn't that fucked? They were gonna come out with that, but then I guess the community was like, "No, we don't want that shit. Get out of here. Don't put that in the fucking card. You're just giving everybody wall hacks. Why would you do
I'm
that?"
pretty sure it was Wildlands had
Um,
something similar where you could adjust like the graphic like fidelity, like how good it looked. I'm pretty sure it was Wildlands. And if you turned it
mhm.
all the way down, it would get rid of a lot of like the grass and like brush textures. Because I
Oh,
won't
I
lie, when
did hear
I
about that.
played it that way. So like if someone was trying to lay in the grass on me, I knew that person was there because I didn't have grass on my screen.
Yes, that's a good point. I forgot about that. Oh, why didn't I abuse that more? Fuck.
But yeah, I remember, I'm pretty sure it was Wildlands, but there was definitely this one game that was a
Yeah, I think you're
multiplayer
right
game where
about
I
that.
just turned my graphics way down because like I'm that person that I like my KD to be all right, but I care more about my win-loss ratio. So I
Yeah.
enjoy winning. So I mean, if the exploit's there to use, I mean, I'll use it, and I feel like that's a good portion of the community. If they know about it,
Mhm.
they'll do it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's totally fair. Like in the Wildlands instance, where it's like a game setting that everyone has access to, that's cool. But then there's the other kind of exploit, like in Warzone. I remember, I think they fixed it, but when I was playing, one of the reasons I wanted to stop playing, there was a specific area of the map where people could like go into the fucking wall and shoot outside of it, and you couldn't shoot them, you couldn't see them, but they could shoot outside of the wall at you. Like shoot through the wall to hit you. They were in the wall and they would shoot out to
Right.
hit you, and you couldn't hit them or see them,
Do you
and it was
remember,
fucking
did
bullshit.
you ever
It was
play
annoying.
Modern Warfare? Or was it Modern Warfare 2? Whichever one had Rust. Do you remember the map Rust? Yeah. I
Oh yeah,
remember
Modern Warfare 2.
originally there
Mm-hmm.
was a glitch spot where you could that big pipe that's in the backside of the map that you can walk on to get up on top of Rust. There was a way that if you could jump, you could
Yes.
basically clip through the pipe and sit inside of it. Eventually, the way they ended up fixing that, because you could do the same thing, you
What?
could sit in and shoot out, and people couldn't shoot in on you. But the way they ended up fixing that was they patched in a death barrier. So as soon as you clipped through the wall, you died. And
Well,
I
good.
feel like they should
That
implement some
seems like
more
an
stuff,
easy fix.
death barriers, and like even Warzone. Like if you want to risk trying to clip through the wall, then you should die. Get eliminated. Go to the next lobby.
Seriously. Or maybe Call of Duty should just have goddamn destructible environments, and if someone's in a fucking wall, you just destroy the wall.
Right?
How
Which I feel
about
like
that?
future
I'm
Call
good
of
with
Duties,
that,
I feel like
E2.
that could very well be a possibility. Because I feel like with the new Xbox hardware and the new PlayStation hardware and the already existing like greater PC hardware, I feel like something like that would be a lot more capable. They'd be a lot more easy, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's doable. Um, yeah, totally. Now what else? So in regards to cheating, do you think nowadays it's more accepted in gaming culture? Do you think like it's less stigmatized, or I don't know. I think it's more prevalent, but I haven't like had anybody confess to me, "Hey, I'm cheating,"
Right.
and then seen the response.
I don't think I've ever
You
played
know
with
what I
someone
mean?
that's openly said, "Hey, I'm cheating," especially in recent years. I remember like when I had that turbo controller for Black Ops 2 or Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2 era. There was a couple of us that we would do shit like that and just didn't care because we were so tired of it that we were like, "Oh, you're doing it? Hey, show me how to solder that controller so I can do the same thing." But nowadays, yeah, like I've
Yeah,
never had anyone confess, like you said, to me or anyone I know that, "Hey, I just so you know, I have walls or I have aimbot."
yeah. And I mean, generally, when people get caught, like some Call of Duty streamers have gotten caught cheating. There was one that was pretty obvious. I can't remember his name. Shit, there's a bunch of compilations on YouTube of this one Warzone streamer that like, it's obvious he's cheating. I can't remember his name. Fuck. But anyway, I remember there was a big controversy about it because like Nate Shot came out defending him and other people came out defending him. But you watch his shit and you're like, get the fuck out of here, dude. But you know, maybe not. But when people get caught like that, there's generally a pretty big outcry. Like people are generally pretty pissed off. You see like a lot of hate come their way. But then at the same time, I feel like we live in a weird time where there's maximum incentive to cheat, but it's still socially like unacceptable. You know, I don't think cheating is accepted for multiplayer games. You know, it's different if we talk about single player games. But definitely there's a lot of hate coming their way, but they're so easy to get, and there's like we have the biggest incentive to do it now. Right? I mean, don't we? I think we did. Like the battle pass system hugely encourages cheating,
Yeah.
in my opinion, inadvertently.
Well,
You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna do, I love
right.
battle
Well, and then the
passes,
other
but I
thing too on
think they
top
do
of that is
incentivize
how
cheating.
like KD hungry everyone's gotten. Everyone always cares about their kill death ratio and like I remember you'd yell at
Yeah,
your friend for stealing your kill, but at the end of the day, like you were like, "Well, we won, so I guess fuck it." But nowadays, it's like I'm gonna do everything I can to have the most possible kills because I need my KD to be at like a 3.0 or higher.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And one big mitigation to the KD discussion I've been thinking recently is like when games give you assist counts as kills, those are great. I think
Right.
because I don't get mad at kill stealing at all in Battlefield games, like ever. Oh, I don't get mad really about it anymore. At all. Fucking Wildlands though, try to steal a kill in Wildlands. Oh,
I think
I lose my
for me, it
shit.
depends on the situation. Like if I'm just
But
with
yeah,
a couple buddies playing for no reason and just fucking around in pubs, like then I might get a little salty with some kill stealing. But if we're like getting sweaty or playing competitive and it's all about the win, like then I don't care. I'm like as long as we get the dub, it is what it is.
yeah, for sure. And Wildlands, I think it was just that personal component for me. Like there were a lot of people in there. I wanted to fucking tear up, and I'm like, if I didn't see me killing them on the kill feed, then I wasn't happy because it was very personal. But yeah. In terms of cheating, man, I don't know what the hell they can do to fix it. I'm not the tech guy. I'm not. I'm the ideas guy. Like I say, that's what I like to say. I'm the ideas guy. But they need to do something. Because this shit's getting bad, man. And honestly, I'm really worried about Battlefield 2042. God, there's a lot of worry coming out of DICE and EA. I'm worried about how it's going to be monetized. I'm worried about how it's going to be how it's going to play, because Battlefield's been all over the place in the past, few games. And then you add to the fact that I'm worried, what if the game's great, but the community fucking ruins it?
I could see it,
That's
but
a
I
serious
feel like it's
possibility
less
too.
likely with Battlefield, to be honest. I've always the Battlefield community seems like it's
Because
far
it's so
less
big.
toxic
Mm.
than the Call of Duty community.
They are.
And
Yeah,
unless you got
that's
someone
true.
from the Battlefield
I can
community
definitely
talking to
agree
someone from the COD community, and then I feel like they're pretty fucking toxic, but
on that. Yeah, that's true. Why do you think COD is more toxic?
I think
That might
it's
be another
Call of
topic for
Duty
another day.
Call
The
of Duty is
toxicity one,
cancer.
but yeah, yeah. I think part of it too is it's just so much more accessible. Like if you open up a Battlefield game, it's a little bit more
Right,
intimidating, I think, with all the things that you can do. Whereas Call of Duty's pretty like, oh, 3-lane map, great. Assault rifle, there's 6.
right,
Submachine guns, oh, there's 5. There's
right,
3 shotguns. This is great. You go into fucking Battlefield, there's like 30 of each one,
right.
and
Well then,
there's so many stats, and yeah. So I
yeah, and then on
think
top of that,
accessibility
mechanics, because your
key.
mechanics in Battlefield are similar to a milsim, and then it's changed a little bit in like present
Mhm.
games, but Call of Duty's always been more of like your arcade shooter, run and gun as fast as you can.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that might be another topic for another day. Man, we've been going on for an hour. To be honest with you, I enjoyed this conversation a lot. Uh, did you have anything you wanted to add
No, I
before
think I'm
before we
good.
call it?
Other than the Dice that's developing 2042 rebranded, did you see that? The studio is going to be called
No,
Ripple
what's this?
Effect now instead of Dice LA. Yeah, let me
What? Ripple
double
effect?
check real quick. I
Ah,
mean,
whatever. Dice has just been such a household name for me. I'm gonna call them Dice. It doesn't
yes,
matter. I'm still gonna call them Dice. I don't
yeah,
give
I don't know why they did it, but yeah,
a fuck.
the Battlefield developer Dice LA renamed Ripple Effect Studios.
That just sounds so
It
less
does,
catchy to me. Dice
but
is
it's
so
just Dice Los
clean.
Angeles that did it. So if there's still other
Ah,
Dice developers, they might still be using the Dice name. But yeah,
well, that's gonna get
don't know
confusing.
why, but I just seen that. That was
We'll see.
yesterday or the day before. I think they announced that or showed that.
So when Battlefield 2042 comes out, do you think it's gonna be branded under
Um,
Dice, or do you think it's gonna be branded under
I
Ripple
have a,
Effect?
I have a feeling it'll be Ripple Effect, and I'm
I
wondering
can
if
see
it
that.
is. I wonder if they're because I know a lot of those studios like
That'll be
Respawn,
cool.
for example, they name their studios after kind of, or NetherRealm is even a better one. Mortal Kombat developers, like they all kind of name their studios after
Oh
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that they're known for. So I wonder if
Hmm.
that is going to have something to do with the game in the future. But other than that, that was all I had.
Hmm. Cool. Well, yeah. If I was making the decisions over at Dice, and we had to rebrand, I think I'd call them Levolution.
Right.
With that in
Revolution
mind, that's what I'd
Studios.
call it. Yeah. But anyway, cool. Yeah, we'll go ahead and call it here. Damn, almost an hour right on the dot. But anyway, if you guys made it this far, I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did. And we will see you in the next episode. Please go ahead and subscribe and like for more content. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.